All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here again for another Careers in Coffee. I'd like to welcome my guest, Nate Hinken, who's here today representing CranHill. We normally have them come recruit in person, but with our limitations this year, we're making do with what we have. But we definitely wanted to get Nate in to tell you about some of the opportunities for summer work. We know a lot of you guys are looking for summer opportunities and chances to build up that resume in the summertime and have a good experience along the way. So Nate, to get things started, could you just tell us a bit about CranHill Ranch and some of the opportunities you have?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Joe said, my name is Nate Hinken. I serve as the program director here at CranHill Ranch, which basically means I oversee all things summer camp and then really anything that we as an organization, as a ministry, put on to the general public. We also do family camping in our campground and as well as private retreats, but that's a whole nother sector. So I oversee the whole sector of summer camp and retreats that we do. So really specifically what we look for in college students is we look for folks to help us run summer camp. And those positions are all over the board. So a lot of people think when you think of summer camp, you're like, well, I don't really like kids because I don't really want to work at summer camp because they only need cabin leaders or they only need people that work directly with kids, which yes is true in part, but we need a lot of people to run the ministry and minister to people. And so if you're looking for impact, and that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for people that want to get personally invested in, because our staff, our full-time staff, is really big about personal investment into our summer and seasonal staff. And then being challenged for you to grow by doing things all over the place. And then also impacting the guests, the families, and the campers that we see week in and week out through the course of the summer. But our positions range from cabin leaders, which are direct impact with kids in our summer camp programs, as well as our frontline like store staff. So they see every aspect of our ministry because that's the main hub of what we do. But we also look for people that have a passion for food because we need to serve good food, and a passion for making sure that people have facilities that are clean and put together. So our facility staff, our hospitality and housekeeping staff is another great place for people that are super detail oriented and want to do that. Maintenance people, we need guys that can run chainsaws and sit on lawnmowers and landscape and do all of those things too. So our options and opportunities are kind of all over the place, and we hire probably 85 staff members every summer. So plenty of opportunities around.
Some of our students, when they're looking for summer work, are looking for a spot as soon as, I guess time frame is my main question.
Yeah.
Our school year ends early May. Most of them are either in dorms and then move out, or in apartments that leases run out. How does housing work if they were interested in coming to work for the camp?
Yep. So if you came and worked with us, housing is included, and we include food, provide on-site laundry, which is free. I know some places you go, you got to pay for your laundry. They have it, but you got to pay for it. It's free if you came with us. And a lot of positions, especially non-cabin leader positions, start early to mid to late May. So our barn staff, so our horsemanship and wrangling staff, they start pretty much mid-May and go right through the end of August. Because there's always people that want to do horse stuff. So a lot of those positions do start mid to late May, and we're hiring up until our last spot is taken. So there's no like deadline of like, hey, I need to have my application in by this. Obviously, we would love an application and a commitment sooner than later, but we'll take it. We'll hire right up until the point where our last spot is full. But yeah, from mid-May to August 20 is our last day of summer camp this year. Our contracts our standard contracts end August 23rd. So we shut down camp that weekend, have a big celebration at the end to celebrate the staff and send you guys off with a party and hey, thanks for what you did this summer kind of thing. So that Monday, the August 23rd is the last contract date, but we have flexible contracts too. So like, hey, I can only work this many weeks. Some of those departments might be able to work with that. I can only work half a summer. Some departments might be able to do that. If we can take a full summer, we'll take a full summer because obviously that's our first choice, but we want to remain flexible because we know that there's other things in life that are going on that, hey, my sister's getting married in California and I need this time off to go do that. If that fits into what we can do, we'll take that and we'll make it work. So time frame wise, I don't know, did that answer the question that you were thinking of?
Yeah, absolutely. And so you hiring right up until the start of camp season. Are you in the hiring?
Yes. we are hiring. We started hiring October 1st. So we are still in the process, but with COVID and everything, the avenues of which we hire have changed a lot. So the way that we're doing recruiting, the way that we're talking and meeting with students has changed as well. And so we're trying to remain mobile and flexible to do stuff like that. So hence, we're doing stuff like this, and we're just meeting with as many people as we can through Zoom. So we have hired probably 25 of our 80 staff so far. So we still have lots of room and a lot of work to do, but so we're looking. So we got positions all over the place. Joe, you still there? Oh, uh-oh, we lost Joe.
Yeah. Oh well. I guess I have a few questions.
Yeah.
So I'm a business major, but mainly focused on data analytics. Do you have
Okay.
anything where that could fit in there? I guess.
Well, we do hire in our office setting, which would do a lot more of that data entry, a lot of more of the analytics and the statistics pieces that we do. But I would say, to be honest, completely transparent with you, that is something that is a little bit harder to fit in with what we particularly do. So I don't want to blow smoke and tell you, hey, we can totally do that. Which we can. There could be a fit for that, but I'd say it's probably a little bit of a harder thing to fit where it be specific to your major. Now, what summer camp can do is it creates a lot of other things that could be useful in your career down the road. So it may not apply directly to your career, but things like leadership skills, interpersonal communication skills, working together, living in community, all of those things could play a part in what you hope to do in the future. But direct impact or direct connection to your major, it would be a little bit more challenging.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Good question.
Sorry about my internet. Nick, what's your major?
It's international business.
Okay.
On data analytics.
Yeah, I would actually counter and say there's a lot of really applicable skills for that. One thing we hear, Nick, from a lot of business folk is they're really great at training people to do exactly what they need to do on the job, but they need to, like employers, but they need to hire people who have the ability to work with people and have, diverse skills. I have the least reliable internet on the face of the earth. My apologies for dropping out.
No, that's all right. That sounds like my internet at home.
Yeah.
I want good internet to do anything, I got to come into my office.
Yeah. I have I turned on my phone hotspot because my wireless network's more reliable than my Wi-Fi. But
hey, but you got options. You got options.
Yes, thankfully. I am thankful for that for certain. So if a student was interested in applying for a position, what would be the best means to go about doing that?
So the most information, if you're a student that just likes to get right at it and kind of do your own research before you talk to a single soul, that's kind of how I roll, is do as much research as I can. You can go directly to our website, which is CranHill, CranHill ranch.com/apply. And that's basically our summer staff hiring page. And that'll have all of our opportunities, job descriptions for all the positions that we're hiring for, kind of the perks of the job, base salary, all of that stuff. You can watch some staff testimonials if you want to, and hear from other folks that have worked for us in the past, and kind of get all that information before you talk to anyone. And then you can just submit an application directly from there, and one of our staff in the department that you apply for your first choice, because we allow everyone to choose a couple different choices. So like my first choice is this, but if I'm full of staff, this other position I might be interested in doing as well. And that department head would contact them. And if they're like, I'm not really ready to apply yet, we also have an interest form, which basically just lets them ask questions that'll go directly to that department head, to get a little bit more specific answer to any questions that they might have, similar to what Nick asked about with, hey, this is my major, what could apply to that? So there's an option for that. Or if you want to go and just like, hey, I just want to talk to somebody and just have all of these questions, you can reach out to me directly. As program director, I oversee all the recruiting as well. So I may not necessarily be the department that you would work in or work under, but I can definitely answer all those questions that you have. And you can just email me directly at nate@cranhillranch.com. And they can reach out to me directly to get those questions answered. If they're like, I don't want to read anything, I just want to ask my questions and be done with it. So a couple options. As I don't really like coffee, so I brought my own caffeine. Hope that's okay.
We should call it, yeah, careers in caffeine today. That's totally fine. A rebrand. Yeah, that was great info though. I appreciate that. I do have another question though.
Yeah.
Just as you go through as a recruiter, it's probably a little different than recruiting for full-time work where someone's going to be working year round.
Yep.
So as you're looking for that seasonal worker, do you prioritize first-year students who you can hire for multiple summers, or is it just what really stands out on a resume, I guess?
What stands out on a resume to me is hard because my job is people, right? And campus job is people. So really that face-to-face connection to say, hey, you know what? You seem like you carry a lot of passion. You carry a lot of energy and excitement. And I don't care what your major is. If you have passion, energy, and excitement, we can make that work. Because a lot of that is stuff that either they've learned through the course of time or something they just naturally have. On a resume, things like different majors will jump out to me that fit best with areas that I'm looking for, but I don't pay a ton of attention to majors, but it is something that we pay attention to if I'm going straight resume. Any previous experience working with kids or working in an area that might be beneficial to camp. So they have landscaping experience, they have construction experience, they've worked with underprivileged teens, they've worked with special needs people, because we do a lot of special needs adults camping. We do 4 weeks of special needs adults camps. So those kind of things are things that we'll look for in a resume. But I think I gain a lot more from just talking with people, even in an email conversation. Someone that has questions, that's willing to ask questions, that's somebody that I want to talk to, because if you're willing to ask questions, that speaks well of, hey, I'm processing, I understand things, and if there was ever a problem, we'll talk about it and we'll figure it out together, instead of I'm just going to go off and do it on my own. So I know that was really vague and ambiguous and not super descriptive, but
some job interviews are vague and ambiguous. Like the thing you said though about asking questions is hugely important, and I'm really glad you brought it up, because I know when I'm interviewing people, if I get to the end of the interview and I say, do you have any questions for me, and they say no, I think, do they even want this job? How can you have no questions after the interview process? So yeah, that back and forth is hugely important. I appreciate that insight.
Yep.
One last question about just camp life in general.
Yeah.
If someone were to get hired, just daily, weekly schedule, day in life, what does it look like?
Yep. So it's very different depending on your department as well. But at the basis, every we're a 7-day-a-week ministry, basically from late May to mid-August. So we run 7 days a week. However, we also know that our staff benefit from time off and being able to just relax and hang out. So every staff member gets one 24-hour consecutive period, at least 24 hours. Sometimes it's a little longer than that, off, and they have access to all of our amenities, so they can stay here. If they want to go home, they can go home. If they want to run in and go to Grand Rapids and do something, they can go do that. If they want to go to the beach, they can go do that. If they want to stay around, do their laundry, just relax, put up a hammock, go for a horseback ride, they're welcome to do that. All of our amenities are open to them as a perk of being our staff. So if they're like, hey, I want to go river tubing today, jump on the bus and go. Like, we're not going to charge you. But it's a perk of your rest. This is your time to rest, and whatever that looks like for you. So all of our extroverted people, they typically get together and do something. Our introverted people, they throw up a hammock, they read a book, they take a nap, whatever. So that is kind of the way it works with that. But typically everyone's going to start work at about 7:30 in the morning, and most departments are going to wrap up probably around 5 to 6, somewhere between 5 and 6 is dinner time hour. And then there'll be some other responsibilities after that. But when your shift is done and you don't have any other responsibilities, again, the property is kind of open to you. A lot of our staff, because they want to be involved, they'll jump in with summer camp and they'll help play with games, or they'll come to chapels, or they'll come help do stuff. And I usually utilize a lot of those folks to run some of our, like if we ran a big night game and I need a bunch of kids with face paint and just to go around and run and scare kids. I'll utilize a lot of that staff that's done for the evening, kind of thing. So the hours aren't necessarily 40 hours a week, but we do try to maintain a pretty good balance for the time that they're here with us.
That's great. That was the last question I have on my sheet. So Nick, I'll actually stop the recording now, and then we'll get into some more Q&A if you're interested. But Nate, thank you for being here. If you need further information, like we said, cranhillranch.com/apply, and I will also link that in the YouTube post.
Sweet. Yep. That's the best way.